Hey YouTube!
What's up? So after talking about whether or not we make out with strangers in our last video, we thought like, wow, we actually interact with strangers a lot in New York.
Public transportation, walking down the street, getting massages.
You're getting massages?
Well, now we want to talk about our interactions. And so we figured, why not talk about that?
Okay, so here's a question.
Okay.
If you see someone like on the subway and they have food in their teeth or on their face, would you tell them?
For whatever reason, when someone has food on their face, it's so hard to tell them. And so we came up with this
Acronym, it's called FOIF, and it stands for food on yo face.
So if you were to see someone with food on their face, you'd be like, foif. They'd be like, what? They'd be like, foif. And then eventually they'd be like, what the are you talking about? So what would you do if you saw a stranger with their fly down?
Actually, isn't there an acronym for that too? XYZ?
Check your zipper.
I feel like if you're in the middle of a conversation with someone, I'll like lean in and be like, by the way, like, your zipper's undone.
But what if it was a stranger that you met for the first time?
I feel like strangers, you're like, they'll figure it out. Someone else will tell them. That's why I like button flies. How do you feel like if you're reading on the subway and someone is like, oh, I love that book? Oh, there's sirens. Yeah, I've had someone before being like, oh cool, like you're reading Lord of the Rings. I'm like, yeah, it's a good book, bye.
I usually don't want to be bothered on the subway, but I have had a few instances where I've talked to a stranger and ended up having a really pleasant conversation. One time it was just this guy who was like, are you okay? I was having a really rough day, and it was just a very nice conversation. I guess it was just kind of a private moment.
Some people having private moments, not on my watch. But one thing I am okay with is if someone comes up to me and they're like, I really like your shoes.
Just like a nice compliment.
Yeah, have you ever had that before?
No.
How about if you're walking down the street and someone's walking a dog?
I stopped to pet dogs.
Do you? And do you start talking to the owner being like, what breed is she? How old is she?
My mom is a queen.
Oh yeah, your mom would do
Dog
that.
stopping. Any dog she sees when she's walking down the street, she'll stop and pet it and have the conversation with the dog. She doesn't really talk to the owner that much, but the dog she'll talk to for a good like 20 minutes.
But I think like if you have a dog too, that's a very common way for people to meet. Their dogs start hanging out and you're like, hi, I'm Fred.
Like 101 Dalmatians.
Sure. If someone in public sneezes, what do?
I don't usually say bless you.
You don't say anything?
No.
I guess it depends on
Do
like...
you? Do you? Do you? Do you? Do you?
I think it depends on the environment. If I'm on like a crowded subway train, there's so many other people who like have the opportunity to that I usually let it be.
That's like the bystander problem.
I know.
Where everyone else assumes that someone else is gonna do something and you need to be the one to step up and do it. What happens if you sit down next to someone on the subway and their music is blasting so loud in their headphones that you can sing along?
I'm pretty like private. I don't really like get involved in that stuff because you never know who the person's gonna be, how they're gonna react. I'll just like suck it up and read.
While you're listening to Rude Boy by Rihanna.
Yeah, that's my favorite. I will tell someone though, if they're sitting down and taking up 2 seats, I will ask someone to like move over so I can sit down.
I just like squeeze my butt in.
Just squeeze your little tush in there. I feel like this happens in TV shows more often than real life. 2 people will be having a conversation and another person will come in and be like, I can't help but overhear that like you were talking about this. Would you ever do that?
Nah. Only if it was something that I was really passionate about, like the Disney Channel.
I feel like if people are talking about something that I can directly relate to, I'll just like hop in for a second, but I don't want to get involved in the conversation. I just want to be like, give my 2 cents and then like back out. Back out.
It sounds like a new dance move.
Yeah.
Back up.
Back out. Turns out we interact with strangers a lot, for better or for worse. That's how it is in New York. I don't know how it is around the world though, so like let us know how you interact with strangers in your town or city or whatever.
Your glacier, if you happen to live there.
If you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up.
Let us know if you think FOIF is going to take off in the comments below.
And if you haven't yet, click subscribe so we can see you every single week. I'm Beep. We're 2 Beeps.
Peacing out.
Beeps out. Beeps out. Beeps in. Oh, it's a siren. I want to move to a glacier.
I want to move to a volcano.
Okay.
Really? You said no Hawaii earlier. Oh,
We'll
I just
talk
caught
about
you.
this
I just
later.
caught you.
We'll talk
We're
about
moving
this
to
later.
Hawaii.